are you from, Joseph?
South Shields.
I thought.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But let me be clear.
I enjoy cooking bacon and stuff, working with flour.
This is You're Welcome America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about.
In every episode, we translate British pop culture for America.
And American pop culture for Britain.
You're welcome. Hi, babes.
Hi. It's finally happening. We put it out into the universe. We willed it to happen. And today, this episode is the Loose Women Special. Oh, not only that, we have one of the loosest ladies around.
You may have seen from the episode title, our guest on today's show is going to be Denise Welch.
So,
Things have gone strange and wild and amazing.
It has been crazy.
We couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
We are very excited.
Very excited about Denise Welch coming over to the You're Welcome America studios, aka my house.
Oh, my God.
And she'll be sitting in my kitchen area. She'll be able to see the bins.
Yeah. People don't know that we record right by your bins, do
Right
they?
by my bins. Translation, trash cans.
Yes, garbage.
Garbage. So yeah, you've got that to look forward to. This crazy ride that we are now fully on. In the meantime, what's been going on?
Well, let me tell you something that has happened also in the meantime. You got married.
I got married.
Tell us a little bit about that little Saturday. Actually, should I tell you about my experience of you getting married?
Yeah, please do.
So we were due to come to your house for a little end of summer party, as it was dubbed. I was at the barber's getting my hair cut. I came out and I received some text messages saying Ben is married. Went on Instagram and saw that you secretly got married on the Friday, and the party on Saturday was going to be a kind of a fun wedding reception.
Yeah, that's it.
Madness.
We're producers. We've got to produce up life, you know.
True. That's so true.
Give us the moments.
You produced a real good moment there. It was actually don't want to shade any other weddings that I've been to. But for
Name
me,
them.
Yeah,
Name them.
All of them were not as good as your wedding party because I did not have to wear a suit. You know, I bought a very expensive last-minute candle as the gift, but you know, whatever.
It's in Malou. It's in
Translation: bathroom.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, and I loved it. You know, there was a first dance. We all did the Macarena.
We did do the Macarena. Yeah. Yeah, it was really super fun and low key. And the day after my wedding, my husband went to Italy without me.
So a honeymoon for one.
So yeah, I look forward to seeing my husband later when he gets back.
I think because we've got so much going on today, let's dive into feedback.
Okay, so we have had a lot of feedback. There's been a lot going on. Okay, so we had some feedback from Jen in London. I think it was when we mentioned Glastonbury on the Drag Race special.
Oh, yeah.
She said, I would just like to say that I've compared vaginas at Glastonbury. It was in the healing field. There's also a whole field of naked people, and nobody puked in my vag watching the Strokes.
Thank you, Jen.
So thank you for that. And she also said one other thing, the fancy dress uniform days. My mum made me a mop cap out of an old hanky for our Victorian day. Instead of lessons, we had to polish brass.
Wow, what a lesson to learn.
I mean, I'll go.
I have overwhelming feedback, us not knowing what kind of high street shop had the heart logo. Shout out to, I think, Jen. Shout out to Jen, Charlie, Nina, and Hannah, who messaged in droves saying that their shop is Morgan, or Morgan de Toi.
Ooh, full name.
Oh, lovely. Very Parisian.
I have also had, there's been lots of stuff going on. The You're Welcome America Instagram account, as always, do get in touch. You Are Welcome America is the handle. Go there and just shout abuse like these people. So CLC, core listener Charlie, she said, I did a shoot with Kerry Katona and I have a great story for your Atomic Kitten episode. And she says, it involves farting.
Well, I mean, I guess CLC is coming over soon, so maybe we're going to have to do an Atomic Kitten special and get her story.
I'm very excited about that. Someone called Gandhi the Great, who says, I miss Scylla.
Oh, yeah.
And then it said, wondering who the US equivalents of Deirdre from Corrie and the Kim Woodburn are. And then it said, hashtag, don't you start with me, lovey. Well, they're both of them are kind of no-nonsense, older ladies who've lived.
Brassy
ladies. So we were thinking, is it like a mix of Judge Judy.
No nonsense.
No nonsense. And Teresa Caputo.
The Long Island medium.
Yeah.
So she's kind of got the hair of of like Deirdre Barlow.
Exactly.
And the kind of like brassy attitude.
She'll put you in her place with one of those nails.
So Judge Teresa Caputo.
They're perfect.
I've got some feedback from Jamie in LA. He's actually from Bath. And when we were discussing the US equivalent of Bath, he has given us an opinion, and he says that Bath is Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And listen, he's from Bath, so I think he has the definitive final word on that.
You can
so
have that
we're
one,
changing
Jamie.
that one, Jamie. That's
Fine.
yours. You're welcome.
I've had a message from someone called Disco Drive-Thru on Instagram, and they said, can't remember what episode you mentioned it, but the US version of Smash Hits Poll Winners Party has to be Teen Choice Awards. Fine.
Oh,
Totally
perfect.
fair enough.
Thank you. Of course.
Then we've had someone called Return of the EMC. Vintage gossip about Stephanie McIntosh.
Oh, this is my friend Elisa.
Hi, Elisa.
Elisa.
So Stephanie McIntosh, we just mentioned randomly in the Liverpool episode, I think.
Who we somehow got onto her amazing single Mistake.
Okay, so Elisa has some vintage gossip about Stephanie McIntosh. She turned up at my friend's house party in Southampton back in 2007 and proceeded to irritate the fuck out of everyone by singing Disney songs at the top of her voice and then locking herself in the bathroom. Oh, I can't read that next bit.
Just skip to the end.
Let's just say that when she finally emerged from the bathroom, she had to go. She used to be my favourite neighbour, but she really enraged me that night, and I never watched the show again.
I really love that we're worrying about slandering the name of Stephanie McIntosh. Insert what you think into that part of the story.
Not gonna add anything else to that. Eric in New York also got in touch to say that he also was gonna back up Michael. He was gonna back up Michael by saying that Dallas, it really is the US equivalent of Liverpool.
Okay.
That was it.
So today is our Loose Women special.
Sure is. Now, before Denise gets here,
God.
but we kind of need to just break down Loose Women just a little bit,
Yes.
so everyone knows what the hell we're going on about.
So Loose Women is a TV show that started in 1999, originally filmed in Norwich, where I'm from. Just a little fact for you there. And it is basically is the UK version of The View.
Yeah.
So it is 4 panelists, ladies, kind of discussing topics in the news, having celebrity guests on, and generally just having a real chinwag.
Just a good old natter.
I knew you were going to say natter.
So yeah, I mean, it's on in the daytime. It's
Yes.
live.
Yes.
Crucially, it is live.
12:30 to 1:30.
Oh, lunchtime.
Lunchtime every day.
Lunchtime with the ladies. I think one thing worth mentioning about Loose Women is we said that it is the UK equivalent of The View. However, I will say that The View is a bit more political. The View is a bit more buttoned up.
Yeah.
Loose Women is quite literally looser.
Yeah, completely. It's a lot more fun. It's more of a laugh.
Laugh at the ladies.
Yeah.
It's very British.
Yes, it couldn't be more British. The panelists themselves could not be more British. And obviously that's going to lead us into our guest today, Denise Welch. So I guess we should take a break. And when we come back, we're going to be interviewing Denise Welch about Loose Women.
In my kitchen,
in Ben's
near
kitchen.
the bins. So it's the You're Welcome America studio.
What has happened to our lives?
Okay. See you in a bit. And we are back. So this is Your Welcome America. We've been threatening it for a while. It's happening. It's the Loose Women special. And we have our special guest, Denise Welch. Woo! Denise, what do you think of the Your Welcome America studio?
Well, I'm very, very impressed by it, to be honest.
yeah?
Yeah, it was very difficult to find.
Yeah.
And had I not spotted Brenda, your woman in the yellow caravan over the road, I would have been quite stuck. I actually thought it was my Winnebago when I came here.
Well, you do request a Winnebago.
I do request it in my rider. Mm-hmm. So I was quite disappointed to know that was Brenda's. But next time you'll know. But I'm thrilled to be here as the only special guest on your Loose Women special.
Thank you so much for being
The
here.
only guest we need for the Loose Women special.
Well, I
as
mean, this is it. What are you doing in LA? What's going on?
Well, to be honest, I've been coming to LA since, because I'm very old, since 1978.
Okay.
That's the first time I came. And I was at drama school, and my godfather is the very famous writer Ian Lafrene of Clement and Lafrene, Dick Clement and Ian Lafrene, who wrote The Likely Lads, Porridge, Au Vie des Pet.
Oh, wow.
And many films. And he was my dad's best friend. He's my godfather. Even though, because I'm now 61, I've been usurped by Ian as his goddaughter because I'm too old. So now he introduces my rock star son, Matty, as his godson. And I'm just chopped liver in the corner because I'm too old. But so he's got this fabulous house in Benedict Canyon in Beverly Hills.
Oh, nice.
So that was how I first came here, and I'd never flown before. Came here with a girlfriend of mine when we were 20. Loved it, and I remember we went to see Grease. So it was 1978, and Grease had just come out. And we went to see it in West Hollywood, and we actually sort of came out and felt like we were in Grease, you know.
And you actually later played Sandy in Grease, didn't you? On stage.
Oh, I did actually play Sandy in Grease.
Someone's done their homework over here in the
done.
corner.
Have. And indeed, funnily enough, I've come straight here to do this podcast from a very loud drag lunch at Hamburger Mary's on Santa Monica, where one of the characters was singing a song from Grease, Rizzo. There are worse things I could do.
Oh, we know
which
it.
is because I wanted to be Rizzo,
Well,
and I
that's
got
that's
Sandy.
the best song in Grease.
Well,
isn't
it is, and in the film, Sandy is a great role. In the stage show, it's a shit role, because whereas at the end, Olivia Newton-John had 5 hours in makeup, you have half a page of dialogue. So I came on looking like Dolly Parton on acid when I had to go off and change from being that Sandy to rock star Sandy. Do you know what it is? I never had the ambition as a younger actress to pack up my suitcase and come out and sit by a pool and get a job as a waiter. I was never that ambitious, and my career sort of plodded along fairly merrily at home. Then I had my kids. I would love to work in Los Angeles, but I don't come for that reason. I've got lots of friends here. So I get off the plane and I sort of resume my LA life, and I become a kind of a lady who lunches. And I've got all of my old loose women pals. We've got Billy helping here, who was my producer.
Billy in the studio audience.
We've got Billy in the studio audience here. And so I've got lots of my old pals, some American mates, and I love it.
Yeah.
I've got my papers if I do work here. My eldest son is a bit of a rocker.
Well, we know.
Don't we know that?
Here's the thing. He's not just like bit of a rocker. He is like an international rock star. All the kids in my office who are like 21 are obsessed with the 1975.
I know.
We should say he's the lead singer of
He
1975.
is, and the founder of it, In My Garage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You see, good things come from humble beginnings.
Absolutely.
Much 1975 and this podcast. We've always
And
said
this
they're very
podcast,
similar.
and my husband, who is now an international artist, started painting in my garage. So I do very good
Wow.
garage. Yeah.
What's going on in that garage right now?
Well, I know I should do a little television series in there, shouldn't I? And maybe it'll come here.
A little YouTube series or something in
But
there.
that's just another reason. Matty is here a lot.
Right.
So, and my youngest son, Louis, is an actor, and he's only 18. He's kind of just started, really. So I'm kind of doing Sing Out Louise, so that all my children come out and buy me a lovely rest home in Beverly Hills.
Oh, that is the true
A
dream.
lovely Shady
The absolute
Pines rest
dream.
home in Beverly Hills, and I'll be happy.
What are there things when you get to LA? Are there things that you think, right, I have to do this, I have to go here, I have to go to this restaurant? Do you have your spots?
I have my little spots, and I think it's something to do with age as well, is that I don't strive for newness anymore, and I don't strive for new friends and new places, so I tend to go to the same little places.
Well, thank you for coming to the studio here.
This is a
new
wonderful.
place.
This is a new place, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
Deep East Los Angeles.
I am a huge reality whore, American reality whore.
Nice.
And not British reality, but American reality.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of overhiding it because as an actress, I'm supposed to hate reality television and it's taken all our jobs, and that's true. But I have the Hey You app. So I get all the Bravo shows. In fact, once...
What is this app? I don't
right,
know.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, the Hey You app means that when I'm in the UK, I get all your Bravo shows,
Yep.
Below Deck, Real Housewives, Kardashians,
Married to
Real
Medicine.
House, Married to Medicine,
Yep.
Atlanta, Married to Medicine, Los Angeles.
Fantastic.
I get all of them, plus some real life crime, which I'm an
Yes.
aficionado of as well. And
Committing or watching? Just
oh no,
both?
Well, I would know how to commit because I've watched
Great.
so many Datelines.
Good to know.
And
if anything goes missing in the studio, we'll
but
be like, it was Denise.
I'm obsessed with Bravo, and there was once that my dear husband had booked for us to stay in the Mondrian, had to move out the next day, no Bravo.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, I was out. I don't care about your Sky Bar. I don't care about your celebrities and your beautiful stuff going on around the pool. You have got no Married to Medicine.
Yeah.
TLC 90 Day Fiance,
Yeah.
which we do have at home that comes the next day. I'm actually quite obsessed with it all. So that was saying to me that when I did, in answer to your question, there was a time when I was coming here that I had to go to all of Lisa Vanderpump's restaurants.
I mean, I feel like...
I've done that. Have you been to Tom Tom since you've been here?
Well, not only did I go to Tom Tom, I went with my two friends from Vanderpump Rules.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I would love their names, please.
Sheena and James Kennedy.
Oh my God.
And this is because
ones.
a few years ago, I was at the Greek about 4 years ago watching my son, international rock star Matt Healy, who came out of my fufu. And we were at the Greek watching him. And afterwards, Matt always goes, oh God, Mum, it's like, my mum goes being the mayor of Los Angeles and she brings like 30,000 people out. I've got to go and say hello to all these people that I don't even know. And I said, just pop in for 5 minutes at the after bit. So we go. And I was actually surprised that there was quite a few really famous actors there that I recognized. But in the far distance, I see Sheena from Vanderpump Rules. Sheena Shea, as she was.
Yes, no longer.
And I was over like you wouldn't believe. And it was when she was with that Rob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Rob.
Rob can hang a...
Rob can hang a television in 7 seconds.
Yeah.
And, and I went over and made her my friend because obviously she's a fan of the 1975.
Oh, you were like, well, let me tell you.
Well, let me tell you. So we became like sort of Twitter buddies.
Yep.
I then got her into another gig later on and then got friends with her mum who's obsessed with them, Erica Van Olfen, she's my best friend. And then through Sheena, I said, could you get me a table for my friends at Tom Tom? This is really to make my English friends jealous who watch these shows.
Yes.
And James Kennedy came.
Oh, I love James
and
Kennedy.
now I'm struggling to fit James Zane for lunch this week with my packed schedule.
Well, this is it.
So I love being my sons think it's a bit cringe that I'm so impressed that I'm friends with these reality people. But
you picked two of the people I'm the most impressed with you saying.
Well, there
you
you
could
go.
have said like Robert De Niro, and I've been like, yeah, sure,
no,
who cares? But
who cares?
Oh,
but
James
Sheena,
Kennedy's so good.
Absolutely. Well, you can come out with me next time, Frazer.
Done and done.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you keep that in the edited podcast, it's like a deal. That's like, a signed paper. Do you, out of interest, how often do you get recognized out here?
Not a lot, really.
Okay.
Just places where there might be, expats.
Yeah.
I have been recognised by I say a few, maybe 5 over the time I've been coming here, who somebody ran up to me on Hollywood Boulevard. Is that Hollywood Boulevard by the Chinese Theatre?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it sure is.
And she went, oh my God, I can't believe it. You're Denise? And I went, oh, I am indeed, yeah. And she went, just let me get my daughter. Hang on, Louise, look who it is, Maddie's mom. So Maddie's mom. So people, when I've been to Matt's concerts, have recognized me because they are obsessive 1975
Right.
fans. So they will recognize me. But
you're like, probably like, I'll take it.
I don't really get recognized here. But that's kind of, it's nice sometimes. It's that thing about being well known is that you want to have an on-off switch with it, which is quite selfish, really. So here, it's perfect. But like when I went to the red carpet the other night with Lincoln for the, my husband is for the 5th year has been the LA artist, BAFTA artist in residence for the Britannia Awards.
Oh, okay.
So he creates the portraits for the honorees. This year, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Jane Fonda, Jackie Chan, Steve Coogan,
I saw you had a
Jordan
picture of
Peele.
Jackie Chan, didn't you?
I did have a picture with Jackie Chan. That impressed Matthew as well because he's doing karate. I very rarely impress him, but he went, Jackie Chan! And,
Okay, so we're obviously here for the Loose Women special. One thing I want to ask, actually, when you tell people in America that you're on a show called Loose Women, how do they react? Because I tell you what, any American I've told, it blows their minds that there's a daytime show.
there is a daytime show called Loose Women.
Yeah.
Exactly that. It just blows their mind. They can't believe it. They don't know what it's about. I mean, obviously, I quickly back it up with it's like the sister show. Or what does Dolly Parton call it? She calls it the she says The View is like loose women with bigger hair.
Fair, totally fair.
That's amazing.
But yeah, because we've already said the US equivalent of
Well, it
Loose
is.
Women is The View.
It is, except I would say for those people who don't know it, is probably more of a sister show to The Talk, because The View is more political.
Yeah.
And obviously we've done our Brexit bits, and we have, if something is really current, we talk about it, but we're not really a political show, whereas The View is quite heavily biased towards that side.
Yeah.
So I would kind of say The Talk. I think The Talk have like a set we've got about 12, 13 of us, and we all sort of mix and match on different days.
Panel.
A rotating panel.
Yeah.
I think they've got more of a kind of a set panel.
Yeah.
But
I think that's why Loose Women's more of a success, because it's like you get different people. You don't know who you're going to get that week, and I think
people have their favourites. People have their favourite lineups and things, you know.
Well, you've obviously been in the show, since on and off since 2001.
I believe so. It's like, I don't remember how I started in it. I just woke up and I was in Loose Women. I genuinely have got no idea how I ever did it. I think I did it as a guest when it was at Manchester.
Right.
And then it sort of, organically went from that. And of course, at the time I started doing it, Loose Women was kind of like an also ran program. So it was it would be like, it didn't have its own place in the main schedule like it does now. Now it's a mainstay of the main ITV daytime schedule. It never was. So it would be like on for 3 months. But then Claire Sweeney or Peter Andre doing what do you call that? 60-minute makeover. that would come out.
Although I do love. I don't know if it's still on, but I loved 60.
Well, absolutely, it's great. And so that would come on, and we would get bumped off.
Well, yeah, it definitely feels like, at the beginning maybe it started as a show. We'll see what happens, but now it's it's respected. It's
very respected. And in fact, there's been some really. We just celebrated our 20th year anniversary, because I had a nearly a 6-year gap when Carol and I left for various reasons, which we may or may not go into, for our own personal reasons, felt that our time was done 6 years ago.
Right.
And I didn't see eye to eye with the current head of daytime, which I'd made no bones about.
Yeah.
And also I felt that my life was changing, and I had met Lincoln. I had given up alcohol. There was a lot going on in my personal life. Lincoln and I got a very bad press when we got together, and I just felt, I'm done with sharing right now, and I'm done with who I was, and it was a very big changing time for me, and I felt it was the time to go, and it was a great decision for me to go, and it's been a wonderful thing to be asked to go back. And now there's more girls, so I'm not doing it as regularly as I did, so maybe 4 a month, which is perfect.
Nice.
So I can do my other things, whether it be work, or I've realized now at my age, I love working, but I love not working.
Yeah.
I'm 34 and I love working, but I also love not working.
I love not working.
Denise,
and
I hear you on that
it's nice to be able to do that, and that may not last forever at all, So
that's a huge part about Loose Women in the UK, is that everyone shares things about their own personal lives that's on the panel. And I think over the years, there's kind of people get headlines for sharing kind of different things. Are there things that you've shared on there that you wish you could take back?
Oh my God, Frazer, there is 20 years of my life I wish I could take back. I mean, seriously, I am quite an open person, and I am quite an oversharer. But what sobriety has done has taught me to self-edit a little bit more. A combination of sobriety and being with Lincoln, and because when I was married to Tim Healy, who's well-known British actor, and my kid's father, who I'm very, very friendly with, Tim. Because people knew Tim from the many series he'd done, he became like a sort of an unseen, well, he was seen some of the time, but every time I talked about Tim and took the mickey out of Tim, he became like a character that people wanted to hear and see about. And sometimes he would go absolutely mad. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? People don't like necessarily for people to say that you tried to stop your husband doing a dump in the downstairs toilet when there are 3 other toilets upstairs.
We want that.
And so when I'm now with Lincoln, and the other thing is, talking about the sharing, when we all started this show, we were either with different partners or our kids were small, so our kids didn't know what we were talking about. They showed no interest. Now not just famous kid like I've got. All our kids have grown up. So like Kay Adams says, that we'll be having the meeting before where we decide kind of loosely what we're going to discuss, you know, like I'm sure you guys do before this.
Mm-hmm.
And although clearly not. But
You're not wrong.
but where we'll be talking about it, and Kay'll say, I desperately want to tell that story about Bonnie or about Charles, but I can't. She won't allow me to say it. So we've got to now protect our kids' embarrassment who are mortified. Because like you said, Frazer, everything we do, you come off, you Google your name, not from an arrogance, just because you'd rather see what the press are saying.
Yeah.
And there is always something that we say that immediately hits the online papers. I think what happened with me as well, in the time, the press have always given me a bit of a rough ride, the tabloid press. I was also hacked from 2001 to 2007.
Wait, phone hacked?
Phone hacked.
Oh.
The Mirror Group. Oh. So not under the current regime, and I've been open about that.
And we should say, just to any American listeners out there, just give UK phone hacking a Google, because it is a whole celebrity tabloid world of hell.
Yeah.
That
and I mean, that's
into.
just little old me. But, you know, and the reason that I can be open and honest about this without there being any kind of speculation or legal stuff is the guy that hacked me had a nervous breakdown. And I don't think because of that, but he did. He was a novelist, and he worked for the Mirror at this time, and he subsequently had a nervous breakdown, and he decided through his therapist that he needed to come clean about everything that he had done. So he actually went to a lawyer and said, you went to the police who were doing this. It was Operation Wheating and Operation Golding, and he said, you need to contact Denise Welch and tell her that she has a case. So I didn't have to scurry around. I mean, we did as well, but the evidence was there. And he also told my lawyer, this was a long process, let me tell you, but that he had been told to put bugs in my hotel room on 2 occasions.
And did he?
Yes, he did. Yes.
Wait, so how did you react to all this? Like,
and this is just little old me.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what they were doing to major stars and royalty and all of that sort of thing. And do you know what was horrible, Ben? Is the fact that I was a bit, anybody that knows anything about me knows that I was a bit out there. I had a problem with alcohol. I was self-medicating a terrible clinical depression, which I still have, which is not an excuse. There are reasons for behavior. I'm not excusing any of my behavior, but there are reasons why I got myself into a bit of a pickle. So I was obviously putting myself in situations where the press were going to be, you know, putting stuff about me, But I always wondered how they knew so much about where I was, who I was with, what I was doing. And of course, if a story comes out about something that happened within a hotel room, you can only blame the people that were with you.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who was a features writer, not a gossip writer, a features writer, but he was a big gossip in real life. I loved him dearly, but we had our moments. But Lester, he died, and when he died, and we had never really made our peace, you know, because he had sworn to me that he had never done anything, but there was always a part of me that didn't quite believe him again and didn't quite trust him again. So that kind of all feeds into the time that I was doing Loose Women. And because I knew that so much would be in the press, I kind of used to play the game of drunk spice a bit. Right. So it would be like, well, you're all going to find out. I didn't get in till 5 o'clock this morning, and da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, and what's wrong with being out there, and da-da-da-da-da.
Like a defense mechanism.
It was like a defense mechanism. Yeah. And when I look back at the person that I was, I kind of feel sorry for that person, really. Yeah. I really do. And it was, you know, and there were lots of enablers at the time. People want you to be this party animal. And
I can imagine, like, on the show, that's great for ratings, isn't it?
Right.
We're speaking as producers here. Yeah. That's super fun if you've got one on the panel who knows a bit of a loose cannon, is going to say everything.
That was it. And it's a different show nowadays, and they have much more of a duty of care and stuff. Yeah. But it was, I'm not saying that all my times were bad times. I had some great times, but I much prefer my life now.
Yeah.
You mentioned some famous names there. I mean, obviously in Loose Women, you get big stars on that show.
Yeah.
And what I quite often love is that sometimes you get a very big American celebrity and it's a live show and suddenly they're there in the panel and they're like, wait a minute, what is going on?
Yeah, they have no idea.
It's wonderful. We actually watched, it wasn't a Loose Women, but we watched an interview you did with Britney Spears.
Oh,
How...
Billy did that.
Oh, did you? Did you prep that, Billy?
Yeah.
I mean, Britney's a very important gal for us,
Yes.
but, you know, how was that interview, Denise? And Billy, if you've got any extra comments to throw in from the audience.
Well, it was interesting. Billy and I did 2 together. One was Britney Spears and one was Julia Roberts.
Oh.
And it was the first time. It was the first time that Loose Women, they haven't really done any for a while, started to do junkets for people who couldn't come to the show, and we could do the others. And I was really, excited about Britney. But obviously, it comes with, you can't ask her about this, about this, about this, about this, about the other, this. And it was interesting because we talk about some Americans not having our sense of irony, and yet all my favorite American shows, like Friends, they all have the best sense of humor and the best comedy, in my opinion. I just sort of love it. So I tend not to agree with that on a general basis, but Britney didn't kind of get me, because I started saying, obviously we have a lot in common, we're both global superstars. I remember saying that, and she just kind of looked at me with this vacuous look, which went on. And then I was about to do a play called Steel Magnolias, and my character was from Louisiana. So if you remember, I asked her to read some Louisiana. I then read it in an American accent, which was quite poor, but she obviously thought it was quite good because she looked astonished that this mad British woman could possibly do an American accent, and then asked her to say, stick a rubber hose up your nose in Geordie.
How was Julia Roberts in comparison?
Julia Roberts, again, we had all of the restrictions. Billy was great because we'd get the sort of their people saying, you can't ask her this, don't ask about the kids, don't ask about her husband, to the point that you're really thinking, please get me out of here because there's nothing to ask her.
Yeah.
Billy was always a little bit in my ear going, oh, just ask her what you like, I'm sure it'll be fine. And as she walked in, bearing in mind, these people are probably doing 30 of these a day, and it's the last thing that they want to do in most cases.
Yeah.
So she walked in and she looked amazing, and I was completely starstruck by her, but I kind of just said to her, hi, Julia, I'm so thrilled to meet you. I said, listen, can I just say, I'm an actress, not a journalist, so please be gentle with me.
Smart.
Good one.
And,
very smart.
and we sat down and we got on like a house on fire. We had a laugh. I mean, she may have been putting it on, but we had a great laugh, a great rapport. I remember Mike's husband was playing a transvestite in Benidorm.
Oh, yeah.
I got that photo out for some random reason to show her, which she pretended to find was hilariously funny. We talked about snogging Brad Pitt. And it was and all the time the people are doing that thing with their finger when they're telling you to shut down. But she was keeping it going as much as I was.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of trying to wrap it up. And anyway, what was so wonderful was the next day, either via Billy or via somebody else, we had a note to say that Julia Roberts said, tell Denise that was the best interview that I'd had. Well, when I say the best, the most fun. She didn't mean the best, because I didn't really ask her anything, you know. But didn't that happen, Billy?
Yeah, she probably was excited not to meet some kind of clone that was going to
But,
ask
you know,
the prepared questions.
the thing is about a lot of these people as well is sometimes they can be complete and utter pains in the arse, as we know, genuinely pains in the arse. But a lot of the time, it's their PR people who get them.
Yeah.
And on Loose Women, we have known that sometimes, that these people come on, and by the time they come on, we can hate them.
Yeah.
And then you're on there, and afterwards you'll say, you know, oh, they told us this, and they go, I never said that.
Yeah.
Not at all did I say that.
I also always used to find on UK talk shows, the bigger the star, I mean, maybe Britney aside, but the bigger the star, actually the better guests they were. Because, you know, I remember
people that are a pain are the ones who've just slept with someone on a reality show, and they come with a massive entourage. But I remember years ago when the X Factor was at its height, and Shayne Ward had just won.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And
That's my goal,
you know, and
Shayne
have you
Ward.
seen what he's done to his figure? He's coming to my ball on the 16th of November. Have a Google him.
Okay.
He's ripped.
Because he used to be ripped. Then what?
Then
did
he
put on
then he
weight?
got unripped.
And now is he back? He
and
got
now
unripped.
he's
He got unripped.
He got unripped.
That's
and
the
now
medical term.
And now he's ripped again, and he looks absolutely amazing. But he had just won, and X Factor, as I say, was monumental at the time. And we were having him on, and we used to do 3 live and 2 pre-record. So it was the pre-record, and we were sat there, and we were all done this, and all we were waiting for Shayne Ward to come, and we kept getting he's late, he's not late, he was in the building, he's not ready. And bearing in mind, we're all moms. We have to get home. We've already done the live show, and we're doing the pre-record. And Shayne Ward, who a week ago worked in a shoe shop, has and so I took it on myself. To go upstairs to the dressing room level.
Love it.
And I tell you, there must have been 9 people in the corridors with walkie-talkie mics, right? And Shayne Ward's in his dressing room. And I just said, "Hi guys, I'm Denise." I said, "We're just running over quite a lot, and it's already been 40 minutes. Can you just let me know how long he's going to be?"
Right.
And they were all talking to each other in their mics, trying to sort of keep their jobs and stuff, And they said, "Shayne's having a problem with his hair. Shayne's bald."
He had a shaved head.
He had a shaved head.
problem.
Looking at you, Frazer, you had your hair. Anyway, he eventually came on. Shayne Ward, of course, was the gorgeous, down-to-earth lad. Why would he not be? It was just a week ago he was in the shoe shop. Absolutely gorgeous. And afterwards, we were walking out, and I said, "Oh, I came up and nudged you, and he said, I said that they told me that you were doing your hair." He went, "Are you bloody kidding me?" He said, "They told me to stay in my room for 40 minutes because that's what stars do."
Oh my God.
And also, at that
You have
stage,
to play the game, stay in the room 40 minutes, keep them waiting.
and at that point, he would be like a kid. He wouldn't know any better.
He was doing exactly what he was told,
Wow.
absolutely.
That's
and and that's just kind of on that level. But no, the big stars, we've had Whoopi on, a few times.
Whoopi's great. Doesn't do a pre-interview. That's her thing. I always
Right,
remember
okay.
about Whoopi. But
Right.
was she good when she came
was
on
fabulous.
View?
I mean, she's been on about 3 times. I've only been with her once. Sometimes it's like when the Jacksons have been on and when the Osmonds have been on. And for me at my age, I was just like sat there thinking, "Oh my God, I'm sat next to the Osmonds." Do you know what I mean? It was just so bizarre for me. For me, it's more when I get people like that I've loved over the years. When Liza Minnelli was on, and I mean that
How was that?
I mean, it was tricky,
Yeah.
because Liza was struggling a bit at this time.
Yeah.
And also, you can't blame her. Like, she's had a
But it
crazy
didn't,
life.
But it didn't matter.
Yeah.
The fact that she was singing not as well as she used to, it was Liza Minnelli, and we were just so grateful that she was on there. And Michael Bublé, who is really dirty. We love Michael Bublé.
Yes.
Oh, he's filth. We
also,
love him.
He really is.
He
He's
really
someone
is.
who gets it.
Yeah.
Like, he just
He-
understands how it works. He's a charmer.
He gets it. He had Googled the show. He decided who his favourites were. He knew everything about it. He knew who the ones who'd like a dirty joke.
Yeah.
He told us that he'd watched porn all the way over on the aeroplane, and he just completely and utterly got it. And my favourite, of course, of all of the years that I had the best relationship with, my ex-fiancé Enrique Iglesias.
Oh.
He was my favourite. He totally got it. We used to flirt like mad. Billy organised for us to go to when Enrique came on. I mean, it was just. I mean, and I kind of privately thought that he really did fancy me, which is very sad. But we went to his concert, and he sort of gave me a snog backstage, and Billy videoed it. And actually, have you still got that footage, Billy?
We would like that
Yeah,
for the Your
we would
Welcome
like that.
America
Do you know what?
Instagram account.
Yes.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that. When I used to work on Paul O'Grady, Enrique and Michael Bublé were 2 of the best guests that we used to have as well. They were just 2 people that from another country, but they would come over and would just understand
Totally
exactly.
get it. And I mean, I always used to say to him, "Are you still going out with that blonde girl who bats the ball about?"
Has there been anyone on that you were maybe disappointed in, or it didn't go to plan?
Yeah, somebody that I was disappointed in was Robin Gibb from the Bee Gees.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Big, massive Bee Gees fan. And again, it was a pre-record, and I wish to this day it had been live. I mean, oh my God, I wish it had been live. Because Robin Gibb was coming on the show, and all of us were Bee Gees fan. I was an obsessive Bee Gees fan. And Saturday Night Fever, I saw 18 times, and this, that, and the other. So backstage, there wasn't a monitor. In fact, I don't think there's a monitor now, the bit where you're actually waiting before you actually come on. So what happened was Robin Gibb had been brought round to be coming on. We'd done this big build-up, trailing him all the way through the show that Robin Gibb was coming on. And then just prior to, I can't remember who was anchoring, just prior to him coming on, we showed to the audience and the audience at home a montage of Bee Gees classics.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there doing, like I'm doing now to you, doing sitting versions of Saturday Night Fever.
Yep.
So the audience, studio audience, started laughing hysterically at me doing my rubbish dancing in my seat. Robin Gibb thought that they were laughing at him and just shouted very loudly, "You can all off," and stormed out of the building. And you could have heard a pin drop. And I just remember in my ear going, "Oh my God, you've caused Robin Gibb to walk off the set." But even though the devil in me was thinking, why wasn't this live?
Totally.
Oh my God.
So wait, did you get him back?
Well, we did get him back, but they had to literally run out to his car. He'd gone right the way through the building with his people, got out to his car, was getting in his car, and he was off. So he was, so by that time it's like, oh, I'm over you, Robin.
Yeah.
I'm over you.
Oh,
You don't
God.
have a sense of humor.
That's
I'm
made
over you.
That's made my stomach
Yeah.
drop just
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about working on
All
the
the
show.
producers in the room are like, we know
Yeah.
that feeling. I
Yeah.
mean, you mentioned that, most of the time the show is live.
It is always live now.
Oh, is it
it's
always
always
live?
live now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have there been any sort of like major gaffes live that you really remember?
The major gaffes are usually with people who know it's live but forget it's live and swear.
Right.
Yeah.
Including myself, who thought that when I was anchoring one day, thought that by putting my hands on either side of my face so that the audience couldn't see, forgetting that I actually said the C word down the bottle. Because I was telling a story that resulted in that. It's not a word I use a lot, but it was a punchline to a gag.
I love how I love Denise, how you said it's not a word you use a lot. Now,
No.
before we went on air today, that word may have come out of your mouth within the first 2 minutes of meeting you, Denise.
Oh my
no,
God,
no,
I
that-
did. It was to
no.
do with.
Yeah,
No,
we
it
can't.
was-
We can't.
No.
Can't
No.
go into.
I'm gonna bleep
that out.
It's to do with boop.
Yeah.
That makes it
Yeah.
better, more
It was-
intriguing.
the C word was to do with the C word.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, okay, we're just going to
Okay.
throw it to the audience. We've got Billy. Billy, any gaffes, any live gaffes that you can remember? If you shout them out, like shout the people out.
Like Joan Rivers.
Yeah, that was a big one. I remember that.
I remember
happening.
Joan Rivers being removed.
And
That
she was furious about it afterwards, wasn't she?
Because I can imagine she probably felt very safe in that environment.
She
You
did.
know, everyone talking about anything, and then that happens.
I think it is that as well. People get very nervous. Guys always come on and sit with their hands over their willies, ridiculously. But people do, because it is very easy to forget that you are on television,
Yeah.
and particularly that you're live.
And you mentioned Miriam Margolyes.
Miriam
as well?
Margolyes,
What happened with
bless
her?
Well, just she was so sweet because she was horrified that she'd forgotten that it was live and that she'd worn her trainers. I don't know what Miriam Margolyes was going to wear, but she was horrified.
US translation, sneakers.
Sneakers,
Oh, yeah.
she'd forgotten her sneakers. She hadn't. She'd worn her sneakers to come on and forgotten, and so she sort of shouted quite loudly, "I didn't realise it was live, and I'm wearing my bleeping sneakers."
Yeah, I wouldn't expect her to be coming out in a heel.
And there's also some people that you kind of have been agog to meet.
Yeah.
And especially Hollywood royalty people.
Yeah.
And they come on, and like we say, it's just like that they are on the planet Zog and they haven't got a clue what's going on. One of those people was Mia Farrow.
Oh yeah.
It was like she just didn't know what was going on with the show.
Right.
Yeah.
At all. I still was absolutely fainting
yeah.
in her presence, of
of
course.
course.
But
And also, I kind of blame her people for that as well, because they, should probably sit down, prep her, all that kind of thing.
They
but-
probably tried.
Oh, yeah, that's very
maybe,
true.
I imagine
maybe
They may well have tried.
Maybe.
Billy, studio audience member Billy, and unofficial You're Welcome America celeb booker. Do you have any fave memories of working there with Denise? Any moments or anything?
Oh,
Denzi does Dusseldorf.
Dusseldorf would be one of my favorites.
Well, actually, you just mentioned Denzi. Do you have any nicknames? Is Denzi one of them?
Denzi's one of them, and that comes from when I was a little tiny girl. My great grandmother lived for, I don't know, the first 5 years of my life, and she couldn't say Denise. So she used to call me Denzi, and I also from then on used to always say, you know, I want crunchy eggs because she was blind, so she used to just leave all the shell in, and I just used to love me crunchy eggs and was gutted that I didn't get them after little grandma died. I told them one day about this story, and then after that Denzi would come up on the auto cue, and there it was. It was there.
Because I also noticed Andrea McLean referred to you as Denz on Instagram as well.
Oh, did she?
She did.
Did she put Denz?
You had a photo of you in Malibu, and she was something like looking hot, Denz.
Oh, Denz. That's because she's a proper friend.
And then earlier, I don't even know you, but earlier when I was texting Billy, I was like, looking forward to seeing you in the Denster.
The Denster.
So wait, Billy, what was Dusseldorf? What was that?
We did our first and only ever live link from it was from Eurovision.
I mean, that sounds like a wonderful mess.
I had said.
Dressed up in lederhosen.
I had said that I had at this time this Turkish gay friend who was then bisexual. He hadn't made his mind up at the time, but he's now completely and utterly gay. But my Turkish bisexual friend that we used to call him, well, he used to call himself that. He used to go, hello, it's your Turkish bisexual friend, Makayu. And he was Turkish, and Turkey are obsessed with Eurovision.
Yeah.
So he was telling me about, I was saying how it kind of, you know, I'll dip in and out of it, but it's not a major thing to me. And he was saying he was obsessed, and his one ambition in life was to go to Eurovision. Yeah. I mentioned this to my producers, Steve Martin and Anthony Chuck. And so they went, oh my God, Den, say you're obsessed with Eurovision because we're obsessed with Eurovision. Please, let's all go to Eurovision. We promise we'll take your Turkish bisexual friend if we go. So we and Billy, we pitched it, not thinking they would go for it. Right. And they went. And it was in Dusseldorf.
Love it.
And we called it Denzi Does Dusseldorf. And Steve Martin, to this day, because in his phone, he had given me the number he was on in Europe, and I'd put in my phone Steve Euro, and to this day, he's called Steve Euro. Nobody ever calls him Steve Martin, and he's got his Steve Euro coming.
Love it.
And we went there, and we had the worst hotel that anyone had ever been given in life. And Billy's got a photograph of me lying by the pool, which is empty and filled with rocks.
That ITV budget there, the ITV daytime budget.
Absolutely.
I love it.
You know,
the glamour.
Yeah.
While we have you here, it's obviously the List Women special, but when we were looking through your Wikipedia and just your bio in general, I mean, Queen of Soaps. There's everything going on there.
Yeah.
Frazer, any you want to list out? Any you want to mention? We've got Corrie, obviously.
Yeah. Waterloo Road.
Well, like, you see, Waterloo Road's a drama series, you see, not really a soap.
Is it?
A soap is a soap.
Come on.
A soap is one that goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Okay,
that's true.
So Corrie was the soap.
Yeah.
And one episode of EastEnders.
Yeah, it's quite recently as well. Not that last year?
No. It was about 3 years ago. My friend Darren Little, who lives here, but he had written an episode and he wanted me to play this part, so that's why I went in for this part. And afterwards, people were going, "Oh my God, Denise Welch is Alison Slater." I had no idea I was Alison Slater, part of the Slater family. No idea, because I'd never watched EastEnders, because I'd watched the northern ones and been in a northern one. Yeah, and my young son is in Emmerdale at the moment as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Louis.
Really?
Yeah.
We also saw the thing that I got most excited about. I think there were 7 episodes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Denise. 7 episodes of Biker Grove.
Oh.
No, I did more than 7 actually.
Oh.
I think I did about 17. And in fact, I tweeted as a Throwback Thursday only last week or the week before this iconic photograph of all of us, me about sort of 24 years old with little Ant and Dec at the back and little Jill Halfpenny, and all of us on this picture. Yeah, I was filming simultaneously. Hardly done any television in my life, and then, as usual, like buses, I was filming Spender with Jimmy Nail and Biker Grove at the same time. I was in Biker Grove. I was Polly Tart with a Heart. That's what I've continued to play ever since.
I also trying to describe Biker Grove to an American is near impossible.
Oh my God!
We were talking about it earlier. It's like, it's at a youth club in Newcastle, which is a whole other story. There's a man called Jeff with a mustache, and Ant and Dec. One of them gets blinded. One of them gets blinded
when
with
they
a
were
paintball.
PJ and Duncan.
When they were PJ and Duncan.
That's a whole other mess.
I mean, the American audience at the moment must be like, I don't know what is going on.
PJ and Duncan, and they then released a song called "Let's Get Ready to Rumble," didn't they? As PJ and Duncan, and then became Ant and Dec.
They should be a whole topic one day.
Yes,
I think
that's a whole
PJ and Duncan,
separate
Ant and Dec, separate.
For sure.
Remember that.
We just do admin on air.
Biker, Groove.
Oh, what a dream that
People
show
still
was.
remember it though.
But we just want to throw back to Billy as well. Billy, you sent us while you were, sorting out getting Denise here and being our unofficial celebrity booker. Well, we have to ask who you're going to get us next, which I'm excited about. But you sent us a picture of you and Jennifer Ellison.
Yes,
on
our Liverpool episode.
Because we mentioned last week, we were talking about Liverpool, and we mentioned Jennifer Ellison, and then you sent us a picture of yourself on stage as a backup singer at GAY for Jennifer Ellison. And I also like your description.
What, Billy?
I was the backing singer in GAY once.
What, for a joke?
and also when he attached the picture, he wrote in brackets, he was like, see past her bum in the attached pic. Because just like past her bum in the background, you can see him singing his heart out.
When did you do this?
When I worked on Hell's Kitchen, and she was one of the...
What?
She was on... She won Hell's Kitchen, and we did a follow-up show of her, and she was singing. And we got to GAY, one of our backing singers, didn't want to do it. And I was drunk, and I was like,
oh my God, that's hilarious. Do you remember when Carol McGiffin and I went to Hell's Kitchen? As we were having celebrity guests, and McGiff was so drunk she fell in her soup, literally like in a sitcom. Like in a sitcom, as the camera panned round, McGiff was in her soup face down. Yeah.
I also just like...
Some things have never changed.
McGiff,
yeah.
Perfect.
McGiff says, Denise, I love McGiff's quote. She says, Denise Welch doesn't drink anymore and I don't drink any less. That's what she says.
The ideal duo to take in a night out.
It used to be back in the day, blimey.
Well, I think that's pretty much it for our List Women special, Fraser, unless you've got anything else you want to throw in there.
No. Oh, actually, there's one quick thing we didn't talk about, which was Coachella, the Coachella Music Festival.
Yes.
So not many people, people who maybe follow you on social media have seen that you have attended the trendy hellscape that is Coachella Music Festival. I have also attended it and had a fun and terrible time.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get your kind of opinions on Coachella because it's so
well, it's interesting.
Denz take on Coachella.
Yeah, Denz take on Coachella, yeah. And, I went, I think it was 2009, 3 years ago.
Right.
Anyway, whatever. I think it was Matthew's first time that he played Coachella.
Right.
I'm not a festival bunny. I'm not a festival person. I kind of wish I'd done festivals when I used to drink rather than sober.
Oh, yes.
Because going for wheeze and stuff would have been much better with a complete skinful than sort of going now.
Yeah.
So I tend to go to see my son when he's indoors. But Coachella was slightly different.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
So it was a big deal, and we went to Coachella, and he was on this stage, and we were with the artists. Mind, people always think that I can get them in anywhere, and it makes no difference being Matthew's mom. I'm going to people, but I'm the lead singer's mom. He's going, you don't have your green band, ma'am. You can't come in. I'm going, Matt, get me in. Anyway, it was that was amazing. And then we were stood in sort of like the artist enclosure, and we've got the Beckhams, Brooklyn Beckhams over here, and this person there. And that's when I spotted Jared Leto. And I saw Jared Leto, and I remembered something about Matthew saying that Jared Leto was a fan. So I kind of was going like this to Lincoln, come here, like this. And anyway, I because people ask me for photos in England, you just tend not to do it very much. But I went up and I said, Jared, hi, mum of Matty Healy. I said, would you just mind having a quick photo? And he turned around and we had a picture of Matthew in the background, and he put his arm around me and did like a V sign like we were buddies. And I posted it. It went viral. People in the UK, it was on every television programme. Keith Lemon was talking about it on this and that. Then eventually I thought, hang on a minute, I'm an actress and he's an actor. It's not so ridiculous that I would be in a picture with Jared Leto. So I never managed to top that one. But I've not been back since. Louis came over this year to stay with his brother, and he went to Coachella. And he goes to quite a lot of his brother's festivals, and they headlined Leeds and Reading this year. And, it's been
Leeds
quite
and Reading
a
Festival.
momentous...
Oh.
Well, they headlined Leeds and Reading. They won 2 Brits this year, 2 Ivan Novellos, the Cure. I mean, it's really quite something, all from my... vajayjay.
Yeah.
And Louis basically said, Mom, Coachella's not really a concert. He said it's more like a sort of an Instagrammer's paradise.
Yes.
Because they would fly over all these Love Island people and all these various shows, and they're just there for kind of, so it's still an amazing experience though. I still loved the experience of it, and I thought it was an incredibly well organized. Did you think that?
Those are my exact thoughts.
Oh my God.
Everyone I know that loves festivals, like dirty, horrible festivals in the UK, said that they didn't like it because it was so sanitized.
I loved the sanitizedness
me too.
of it.
It was like sit in the shade, have a drink. Then it was like get on this bus, get in this line. You're leaving.
Absolutely.
Oh, it was,
and I do remember going back to an earlier question, when I went to get an ice cream at Coachella, the American ice cream seller recognized me. Thank you. Yes, she did.
yes.
And there was a queue of American people, and I was kind of like, and she said, "You're Denise Welch, on your Matt Healy's mom," and I went, "Yeah," and they were all going, "Ah," like this. So there was a little bit of a frisson, all for my son, of course, but I'll take it.
I mean, I would be very happy to be recognized by an ice cream seller.
Absolutely, at Coachella.
I assume you got it free. The ice cream you got it
Oh,
free.
of course I got it free.
Yeah.
Yeah, with sprinkles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Denise, this has been an absolute delight having you
Really
on for this
has.
Listening
I've
special.
loved it.
I just want to, pass on a message to the other ladies. We have an open door policy for
Genuinely.
any loose woman
Who come over,
Yeah.
please.
So this has been our Loose Women special. Thank you so much, Denise Welch. Woo!
Thank you.
And we're back.
We're back. Oh my
I
God.
mean, what a joy.
Queen Denise has
that
left the
was.
building.
I mean, she really was wonderful.
Yeah, that was the best thing ever.
She taught us a trick.
Oh, a great photographic trick.
Yeah, so if you're all standing in a photo, and you can check out our Instagram, You Are Welcome America, to see the photos of us and Denise. If you're doing a photo, Denise taught us you count 1, 2, 3, hysterical laughter. Was that it?
Hilarious joke.
Hilarious joke. So you go 1, 2, 3, hilarious joke.
Really works.
It really did work.
So just before we go, there is something I forgot at the top of the show to mention. Last week we asked listener Ollie to let us know about Lynx Africa.
Yeah, how did he get on in that investigative
So
work?
I just going to bring up this text from Ollie. He sent me just a photo. It's a thumbs up, and then on a wooden table is a Sure roll-on deodorant, a Lynx Africa spray, and some Davidoff cool water. And he told me, every year I receive a shower gel and deodorant gift pack for Christmas.
Of Lynx Africa.
Of Lynx Africa and Davidoff cool water. There you go. There's the evidence for
Oh, it still exists. I mean, they have updated the logo. It still is, I'm going to use the term very loosely, African themed.
you. Yeah, still offensive.
It's still offensive, basically.
Thanks, Ollie.
Thanks, Ollie, for that. So yeah, that is it for You Are Welcome America this episode. Do follow us at You Are Welcome America. You can also catch up Denise on Instagram. It's Denise_Welch. WELCH, that is. And she's obviously on Loose Women regularly, so do catch that on ITV1 daytimes. What time's it on?
12:30.
12:30. I mean,
I don't know what else to say.
next week's, how are we going to do another episode?
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
going to be shit.
Yeah. Well, in the words of Anne Robinson,
Oh, God.
at the end of the weakest link, goodbye.
You're so far up your ass, you can smell your own shit!
Where are you from, Joseph?
South Shields.
I thought.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But let me be clear.
I enjoy cooking, baking and stuff, working with flour.